You ever get that feeling in an IKEA halfway through that you don't actually know where the exit is? That you're just following arrows into infinity? You're not wrong. That feeling is by design. IKEA's iconic blue and yellow box isn't just a store, it's a meticulously engineered labyrinth. It's built to guide you, disorient you, and gently persuade you to fill your cart. And once you see the hidden architecture behind the maze, you'll never walk through one the same way again. We've all been there. You tell yourself, I'm just running in for a bookshelf, maybe some light bulbs. You have a list, you have a purpose. But you step inside, grab a cart, just in case, and start following the arrows on the floor. You drift through a perfect little apartment, then another. You pass bins overflowing with tea lights and picture frames. By the time you get to the warehouse to pick up your bookshelf, your cart is already rattling with a dozen little things you never knew you needed. You didn't fail. The system worked. Now, the easy explanation is that it's just good old Scandinavian efficiency. The arrows are there to help you navigate this giant place. It's a nice thought, but it misses the point entirely. This isn't about helping you find your way, it's about controlling it. Think of the floor plan not as a map, but as a sales funnel you physically walk through. Every arrow isn't a suggestion. It's a gentle but firm push toward the next sales opportunity. The layout is a piece of retail technology, and its goal is to maximize your exposure to its 12,000 products. This one-way journey has been IKEA's secret weapon since the 1960s. It's always the same sequence. First, the showroom, where they plant ideas. Then, the market hall, for all the small or easy-to-grab items. Finally, the self-serve warehouse, where you pick up the big, flat-pack boxes. This order is psychological genius. They sell you the dream first, showing you a perfect life in dozens of fully staged rooms. Then, while you're inspired, they hit you with the small, low-commitment accessories to start filling your cart. By the time you reach the big-ticket furniture, you're already invested. These stores are colossal. A typical IKEA can be over 30,000 square meters, and walking the prescribed path from entrance to checkout can easily be a full kilometer. But here's the really clever part. A researcher at University College London named Alan Penn studied these layouts. He used a technique called space syntax to map them out, and what he found was remarkable. The main path has an extremely low number of choice points. There are very few forks in the road, very few junctions where you have to make a real decision. Your brain, faced with a simple, clear path forward, defaults to obedience. Following the arrow is just easier than trying to find another way. But wait, you've seen the shortcuts, right? Those little doorways that slice through a department? They absolutely exist, and they have to for safety regulations. But notice how they're designed. They're often discreet, tucked away behind a pillar, with modest signage. From the main, wide-open river of foot traffic, they are incredibly easy to miss. The momentum of the crowd and the visual pull of the big, bright arrows on the floor carry you right past them. Their existence gives you the feeling of choice, but their design ensures that most people, unless they are actively hunting for an exit, will just keep swimming downstream. The journey begins in the showroom, and this is where the magic really happens. IKEA doesn't just display a sofa on a platform. They build entire apartments, often 40 or more, each one a perfect little vignette of a life you could have. It's got the right lamp, the perfect rug, the artfully placed plants, the cozy throw blanket. You walk in wanting a sofa, but you walk out suddenly aware that your own living room has a dark corner, or that it lacks texture. They create the problem in your mind, and then, conveniently, the rest of the store is filled with every single solution, the very lamp, rug, and plant you just saw. After you've been primed for perfection, you enter the market hall, and suddenly, you're greeted by chaos. Huge bins are overflowing with stuff, 99-cent dish brushes, stacks of cheap picture frames, mountains of tea lights. IKEA has an internal name for this tactic. Bula bula. It means piled up. The psychology is simple. Abundance signals value. A giant, messy pile of items screams, "This is cheap!" It primes you to see IKEA as a place for bargains. You grab a few small things, and each one reinforces the idea. So when you later see a $400 bookshelf, your brain has already been conditioned to think, everything here is such a good deal. Just as your energy starts to dip and the kids start to get restless, a familiar smell hits the air. Swedish meatballs. Placing the restaurant roughly halfway through the journey was a stroke of genius by founder Ingvar Kamprad way back in 1958. His logic? It's hard to do business with someone on an empty stomach. It's a strategic pit stop. You refuel, your patience is restored, and instead of abandoning the trip, you're ready for Act 2. And don't mistake this for a simple amenity. In some years, food accounts for 5 to 7% of IKEA's total revenue. We're talking billions of dollars. Feeding you isn't a courtesy. It's a core part of the business model to keep you in the maze. And for parents, there's another powerful tool right at the entrance. Smallland, the free, supervised children's play area. This is more than just a nice perk. It's the removal of the single biggest obstacle to a long, leisurely shopping trip: restless kids. By checking them into the ball pit, parents are freed from the ticking clock of a child's patience. This dramatically increases dwell time and the likelihood that they will complete the entire one-way journey distraction-free. It's a simple exchange: an hour of free babysitting for an hour of focused, uninterrupted shopping. So you have a disorienting but simple path: rooms that create needs, bargain bins that prime your perception of value, and strategic stops for food and childcare that extend your visit. What's the result? Impulse buys, lots of them. That researcher, Alan Penn, has often cited a figure that around 60% of IKEA purchases are unplanned. Now, that's not an official IKEA number, so treat it as an estimate. But the principle is sound. The entire system is designed to lower your decision-making friction, to get you into a state of flow where adding one more little thing to the cart feels easy, natural, and smart. And the bigger the store, the more powerful this effect becomes. Take the world's largest IKEA, which opened in the Philippines in 2021. It's a staggering 65,000 square meters. In a space that vast, you can't possibly browse effectively on your own. You are completely reliant on the guided path. The maze becomes a superhighway, ensuring that despite the massive scale, your journey is just as controlled, and your exposure to the product range is even more complete. It's the ultimate expression of the one-way system. This idea of designing a space to make you lose track of your original intentions has a name: the Gruen transfer. It's named after the architect who designed the first shopping malls, who wanted to create an immersive environment that would encourage browsing and impulse buying. Casinos use the same principles when they hide clocks and exits. Airports do it when they force you to walk through a duty-free shopping gauntlet to get to your gate. IKEA didn't invent the concept, but they may have perfected it. They industrialized it, baking it into the very mathematics of their floor plan. So here's the big reveal. The secret to IKEA's model isn't really about tricking you with low prices. The prices are right there on the tags, and they're often genuinely good. The real trick, the real genius, is in the path. They aren't managing your wallet so much as they are managing your footsteps, your attention, and your time. They've designed a physical experience where the easiest possible thing to do is see more stuff, want more stuff, and buy more stuff. It feels like your choice, but it's a choice made on a very deliberately tilted playing field. So, how do you escape the maze if you truly just need that one bookshelf? First, arm yourself with knowledge. Grab a map at the entrance and identify the shortcut that leads directly to the market hall or warehouse. Then as you walk, ignore the wide open path and actively look for those quiet little side doors. You have to be intentional. And here's another pro tip: ditch the giant trolley. Grab a small yellow bag or a handbasket instead. With less space and your hands occupied, you'll be far less tempted by those bula bula bins. You can always go back for a cart once you've reached your actual destination. So the next time you find yourself with a cart full of things you didn't plan to buy, don't just blame your lack of willpower. Remember that you just took a ride on one of the most sophisticated pieces of retail technology ever designed. IKEA isn't just selling furniture. It's selling a perfectly paced journey. From the aspirational showrooms that create a need to the meatballs that give you the energy to keep going, every single step is part of the plan. You didn't just go shopping. You followed the script. If seeing the hidden logic in the world around you is your kind of thing, you're in the right place. We're Sneakanomics, and we're all about the money and mechanics behind everyday life. If you enjoyed this breakdown, do us a favor and hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. You'll be the first to know the next time we pull back the curtain on something you thought you understood. See you in the next one.